Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Titan Town, and as promised, I have some college football players that you should be watching and keeping an eye on for the 2018 NFL Draft if you are a Titans fan. Now, remember that this is way too early to be talking about the draft, but that's okay. These are just some names that you should get familiar with, that you should keep up with when draft season comes around, and realize that this is not an actual scouting report. This is just me messing around, looking, getting familiar with a few names, knowing who I need to be watching. Come December is whenever I really start digging in and start really analyzing these guys. So just remember this. And before we get into it, I got a few quick announcements. In the link below, or the description box below, you'll find some links to my blog. We had quite a bit of news pop up yesterday, and we'll probably have some more pop up later this afternoon surrounding the Titans. So be sure to check that out, and we'll probably have more to talk about tomorrow as the first practice of this actual season started today, although pads will not come on till Monday. So keep your eye out for that. Be sure to hit the like, share, subscribe button here to keep up with everything. If there's anything Titan related you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section below, and I'll get you featured and shouted out in a video. Also, my Facebook like page will be in the description box below as well. So let's get started. I'm going to start out with some players who have first round grades and then work my way down. I've got some players all the way down to round 4, although it does kind of slim up as we go down, but that's okay. Just remember that I really haven't started diving in and digging into these players yet. I'm just getting some names on who I need to be watching out for and letting you guys know who you should be watching out for. And it's possible I might do a weekly scouting report. Probably not. Because like I said, really December, right around December is whenever I really start to dig in and analyze these guys and really break them down. But anyways, we'll start off with a first-round guy who will probably be gone before the Titans get to pick, because they won't pick until probably, I'm guessing, around the mid to late 20s, and that is Malik Jefferson, inside linebacker out of Texas. Great linebacker. The thing with him is he's not as good at run stopping as Reuben Foster was, but he's still a good run stopper. But he's really good in coverage. He's not this big, overpowering physical man, but he still can slip in there, fill his gap up, and get the job done. Really good in coverage, like I said. So be on the lookout for him. A lot of people think he's going to be going in the top 10. He'll probably for sure be going in the top 15. You got to remember that this is Avery Williamson's contract year, so Avery Williamson may not be back next year. I really hope he is, because Avery Williamson is one of my favorite Titans. I'm actually from pretty close to where he grew up, so I do take a little bit of pride in that. And also, Malik Jefferson has more than 1 year of experience of success in the college football, and that's something that J-Rob really likes. Moving on, the next guy, and I'm doing these in order, not by position, but in order of how I like them. The next guy I really like as well, and this may be a guy the Titans have a shot at, and that is Kevin Toliver, cornerback out of Defensive Back University, LSU. He has great size. He's probably the best coverage defensive back I've seen that I've watched today, or over the few last week or so, but very good defensive back. He really blankets his receiver. He really doesn't give him much room to work at all. And he's a very safe pick, as he doesn't take like unnecessary risks. He'll still play the football, but he knows and he understands that his job is first to stop his receiver from catching the ball. And that's what I really like about him. I really like him being able to get the other team's offense off the field. So I really like Kevin Toliver for that reason. He also is a big cornerback. He's 6'2", 195 pounds, or right around that. So I really like that. Give the cornerback position some size here in Tennessee. The only thing with him is he has a little bit of trouble covering the smaller, speedy receivers, but that's mostly a product of the system he's in. He plays a lot of off-ball. He doesn't get up on the line and press his receivers. He mostly plays off the ball, so that gives them smaller receivers a chance to get a break on him and really get a clean first step, which makes it harder to cover them guys, so I ain't going to hold that against him too bad. So keep Kevin Toliver's name in mind, because he possibly could be a position of need, and he could be right there waiting on us when the draft day comes around. Next on my list is Sean Dion Hamilton, another inside linebacker. He's from Alabama. He played beside Reuben Foster. Remember, Reuben Foster was a great run stuffer. I really like Reuben Foster, and I was upset we didn't get him at 18, and I was surprised that he went to 18. I was surprised that he went to 31, but the thing with Reuben Foster was when I was scouting him, it's like as soon as the offensive line flinched, even in the littlest, he knew where the gap was. He knew where they was going to open up the line to try to run the ball. It's like I've never seen someone read plays as fast as Reuben Foster did. But Deion Hamilton is going to be interesting to watch him to see if he can continue his level of success that he had with his supporting cast of defensive players going to the NFL now mostly. He's also coming back from injury, so he will be an interesting player to watch. You got to remember this, guys, that even though they're slated to go this early now, these are going to fluctuate. They could be top 10 picks right now, play as top 10 picks, and then fall to 4th or 5th round picks by the time draft day comes around. Or they could be 3rd, 4th, or 5th round picks right now, and they could come on and really come alive and possibly sneak into the 5th round. So just remember that these guys are going to fluctuate up and down draft boards throughout the season and into the pro days and combine and all of that. But Sean Dion Hamilton, very good in coverage, a very good coverage linebacker, very fast, very sure tackler. Not only that, he can read his gaps very well too, and he's not going to overpower you kind of like Malik Jefferson or Avery Williamson or Reuben Foster. He's just going to go in there and tackle you. He's not going to basically lay you out, although he did lay a pretty good smack on one of them players I watched. I think it was an Oregon game. But he will be interesting to watch, and forgive me, I got to read my notes here because I can't keep up with all this right off the top of my mind. I have my notes right here. But just remember Sean Dion Hamilton's name, and I know a lot of Titans fans are Alabama fans too, yeah. But just remember his name, and I'm excited to see what he can do because he is athletic, he is fast, and he can bring some speed and some coverage ability to that linebacker position here in Tennessee if Jayon Brown can't get the job done, or if Wesley Woodyard decides he wants to call it a career after this season. Those are good, suitable replacements for him. And number 4, we have another cornerback. That's DeForest McFadden from FSU. I really like his size. He has great size. He locates the football very quickly. He knows where it's at just about as soon as the quarterback throws it. He does his best work in man coverage. So that's a good thing because that's more and more what the NFL is going to nowadays. Rush your pass rushers, rush your linebackers, play your defensive backs in man coverage. I'd like to see him play a little more physical. I'd like to see him do a better job of jamming his receivers off the line and use his size more correctly. He's got really great size, and he could be a really good jamming cornerback, kind of like what Quentin Wilson was, or Quincy Wilson for the Florida Gators last year. Very good at pressing his man to the line. That's something Tavares McFadden could do if he's coached up right. He could really press his man to the line of scrimmage, make it really difficult for receivers to get off the line. Other than that, he's very good in coverage. He locates the ball quickly, plays physical. And that's another thing I forgot to mention with Kevin Tulliver. I'm not just sitting here reading you my notes. I'm actually trying to put this together. Kevin Tulliver is the most physical cornerback I watched as well. He will come down and lay a smackdown on the running back. Kevin Tulliver is who I mentioned earlier. But Tavares McFadden, he will do that too, but he's just not quite as physical as what Kevin Tulliver was. Tavares McFadden, I really like his size, and I really like how he plays, but like I said, I'd like to see him be more physical. The next one is somebody who I really liked in last year's draft. He didn't declare, so he went back to college for his senior season, and that is Harold Landry, the edge rusher from Boston College. This guy is going to be really tricky. I think he had a second or third round grade last year, but I really was higher on him than that. He possibly could go in the first round and maybe get him in the second round. I don't know. We're just going to wait and see. He's a little bit undersized, but the guy, if you like Carl Klug, and I know a lot of Titans fans who their favorite player is Carl Klug on the Titans roster. If you like Carl Klug, you'll love Harold Landry. Very high motor, plays very fast, very hard. He's a little bit undersized, but his effort more than makes up for that. He just never quits coming. very athletic. That's what I like about Harold Landry. I really love the heart and the effort from him, and that actually translated onto the field. I think he had 16.5 sacks last season, which is just a ridiculous amount for college football. Moving on, another player that I like from last year's draft, Billy Price, the guard from Ohio State. I think he, like Harold Landry, he had a second or third round grade on him last year as well. The thing with Billy Price is he's versatile enough to play center or guard. He's a very good run blocker. He really needs to improve on his pass protection. That was his only knock, and that's why he was graded as low as he was. If he can clean that up, and he also had some issues with getting too many penalties called on him. But that's something that Tennessee, Mike Mularkey and company came in and they fixed very quickly for the Tennessee Titans. When Ken Whisenhunt was in charge, penalties left and right. Mike Mularkey come in and said, hey, we ain't going to be doing this no more. You're going to be punished for it now in practice. And that really cleaned things up really quickly. So hopefully that could rub off for Billy Price if they can get him in round 2 or 3 and really coach that out of him. He could be an asset in the future. At number 7, we have Cameron Smith. He's a linebacker, and he plays inside linebacker and outside edge rusher for USC. I really like the guy's size. He has a really good size. I like to see him be more decisive on what he's going to do and play faster. That could be that he was coming off an injury from last season where he tore his ACL and he's having to adjust back to the speed of the game. Or it could be he just needs more time to develop. We'll have to wait and see. But I really love his size and his athleticism. He would really fill that role of a stuffing inside linebacker if Avery Williamson was to depart, which I hope he doesn't. But if Avery Williamson was to depart, this guy could be a suitable replacement for him. So keep your eye on Cameron Smith out of USC, and hopefully he can develop. And I see him going in the second round right now, kind of at the bottom of the second round. So that would be right around where we're picking. Now we'll get to the third round players. And as I said before, if you watch one of my earlier videos, there is quarterbacks in this little scouting video I'm doing right now, whatever you want to call it. The first quarterback on my list is Baker Mayfield. He has good deep ball accuracy. He goes through his progressions fairly well. He's got some good athleticism, strong arm. He needs to be a little more consistent. He's not very accurate in the red zone. You think of Marcus Mariota. Those are two polar opposites there. Marcus Mariota, it's taken him time to work on his deep ball, but he's always been deadly in the red zone. Baker Mayfield has a good deep ball, but he's horrific in the red zone. So maybe the two can help each other out there if we was to draft him. And I feel like he will be a more suitable backup and do more similar stuff to Mariota than what Matt Castle or Alex Tanney could do if Mariota was to go down. So I really like Baker Mayfield for that reason. He does lack some size, and he is going to have to adjust to an NFL offense. But other than that, he should be fine. He will be playing behind Marcus Mariota, and maybe Marcus Mariota could take him under his wing and mentor him. You remember press conferences before last year's draft. Coach Mularkey said that they wasn't ruling out the quarterback position. Marcus is now a veteran in the league. He's seen everything that he is going to see more than once. So it is time that possibly to groom a young quarterback behind him and use his trade leverage later in the future, or if something, God forbid, horrendous happened to Marcus Mariota, could still step in. I'm talking career-ending injury, which I don't wish that on him or nobody. I don't wish that even on our rivals, because that's just cruel and wrong to wish for something like that. But if that were to happen, we could have a quarterback sitting and waiting in the wings who is already knows our system and already fits our system. I feel like Baker Mayfield really fits our system once he learns it. At number 9 on my list, another third-round talent, I have Marcel Frazier. He will be an edge rusher. He plays defensive end with a hand in the dirt at Mizzou, but he will be an edge rusher for us. He has a nice long body, and he's very fast off the line, but he would have to adjust to standing up in our defense, and that is a big adjustment from going from a hand playing in the dirt to standing up. Think about Derek Morgan, his first year playing standing up. He wasn't very productive. Last year, he really came on and started doing some good things for us. So just remember that if we was to draft him, it would take him some time to adjust. He's going to have to gain weight and power for the NFL, but he has nice long arms. He's very fast off the line. He really gets off his blocks quickly. He doesn't win with power. He wins with finesse and speed, but he will have to gain some power for the NFL as he does struggle with some of the more athletic tackles in college football. Um, at number 10, we have another quarterback, another third rounder guy I have going in the third round, Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph, man, he reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, to a T. Great size, powerful arm, very, very strong arm. The thing with him is, though, he needs two things. He's going to have to adjust to an NFL offense, and he's going to have to learn to go through his progressions and read. It seems like on most of his plays, he knows where the ball is going before he ever snaps it. He'll stare down the receiver he's going to throw it to all the way. That won't work in the NFL. He'll have to get over that pretty quickly, and I wouldn't trust him to be a backup right away because of that. But I think he is worth drafting and grooming and developing, and he could be great trade leverage for later on in the future. So Mason Rudolph, I might pick him up in the third round if some of my other options are gone. Definitely pick him up in the fourth round. The last guy on my list is a fourth rounder, and that is Lester Cotton. He is a guard from Alabama. He has experience playing left guard, and right tackle. He's decent in run blocking. He's not this powerful guy who's going to move any and every defender right out of the gate, but he has room to improve, and he really, really needs to improve on his pass blocking. That's a really bad knock on him. But his athletic ability, man, with his athletic ability, he's worth picking up and grooming, and he could develop into something special in the future. And that's what you're getting with after the second round. I would say third, fourth, fifth round. You're getting players that you can groom to be solid starters on your football team. Sixth and seventh round, you're really just picking up players to fill your roster spots and to plug holes and to play and to be, the way I say the sixth and seventh round, you're looking for guys to play backup roles, to develop into quality backups. From the third to the fifth round, you're looking for guys that you can groom into solid starters. In your first and second round, you're looking for players who are ready to play now, who can develop into top-notch players in the NFL. So Lester Cotton, I think he is worth picking up and grooming because he can develop into a special talent in the NFL. A few players that I couldn't find scouting videos for that I do want to scout is Kendall Joseph. He's an inside linebacker from Clemson, very athletic. I watched some of his highlight videos, but I do not go off of highlight videos because for the simple fact is you're seeing everything they do right, they do good, the big plays they make, but you're not seeing what they struggle with, how consistent they are, or anything like that. The other one I want to watch is what was his name? Let me look here. He's a quarterback for Auburn. He used to play at Oregon. Jarrett Stidham, however you say his name, quarterback for Auburn this year. He started out in Oregon just like Marcus Mariota. From what I've read about him, I haven't watched him, but from what I read about him, very similar to Mariota. Very athletic quarterback, very smart, very accurate. So definitely going to watch and check him out because he could be a very suitable backup for Mariota, especially if he goes in the third or fourth round like he's projected to at the moment. And the last one is Adonis Alexander, the cornerback from Virginia Tech. Great size from what I've seen about him. I read a little bit about him on Walter Football, but I like to watch and judge things for myself. Walter Football is where I go to look at and see who I need to scout, and that's where I get my names at, and then I go scout. Sometimes I agree with Walter Football. Sometimes I disagree with Walter Football. Just all depends on the player. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you liked it. Remember to smash the subscribe button to stay up to date on Titans news, speculation, and topics. Be sure to like the video. That's important when growing a YouTube channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was useful to you when the football season does roll around and get started underway. I hope you all have a great day, and remember to tighten up. And be sure to check my links in the description box below.